Let me hit record. Okay. So it's October 13th, and I am super excited to announce our speaker to you guys tonight, Chris Duffield. So Chris and I met on Fort Lauderdale Beach back in April of 2007. He actually built me a sand chair because I didn't have anywhere to sit on the beach. And he was gracious enough to be a gentleman and build me a chair out of the sand. And we kept in touch on MySpace, if you guys remember that, before it went defunct, and then over on Facebook. And Chris is going to share a little bit with you guys about his physical journey and what brought him to reaching out to me initially on Facebook for Shakeology. And then his story about his career and shifting over to a full-time Beachbody coach, and then giving you guys tips on where he's been successful. And I will say he is the most consistent coach in the Refinery, in the fact that he has hit Success Club 30. I'm not Success Club 30, Success Club 5, 30 months. 24 of those months have been consecutive months. Chris is also Piyo and P90X certified. He runs home fit clubs, which I love that you just totally took the initiative and went all the way with that. Chris has had 200% growth to his team over this time last year. Chris has 3 personally sponsored diamond coaches. He has done 8 different Beachbody programs. And I think that's really cool because I remember when P90X2 came out, he stated, I am going to do every single Beachbody program from start to finish. He goes, even Brazil butt lift. But Chris has done Tai Chi. He's done pretty much every program. So if you guys do have questions about specific programs, more than likely Chris Duffield has done it in its entirety. So Chris has also lost 48 total pounds and has kept it off since becoming a Beachbody coach. So Chris is going to share with you some of his tips on consistency, what it's like being a guy and building a successful business with Beachbody. And then I forgot what the third one was. It's not in front of me, but Chris is going to take over. So Chris, thank you very much for speaking on the call tonight and sharing with everybody your tips to success as a Beachbody coach. So hang on, let me take you off mute and I'll mute myself and go ahead.
Well, thank you, Shay. I appreciate that. I think you answered everything. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your Monday nights. I know it's probably football night for most of y'all, or fun TV time, whatever. And Stephanie, thank you for holding off on the birth, just for me. But don't go into labor tonight. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Well, yeah, Shay summarized it pretty well. I'll give you a little feedback on, or a little history about where I came from. And Shay and I met on the beach in 2007. I had a personal trainer at that time in 2007. I was traveling for my corporate job that I had for 9 years as a marketing and sales representative. I always battled with my health, my fitness. You know, I was a gym rat. I'd go to the gym, I cancel. I go to the gym, I cancel. It was always a struggle. But I always struggled with something more in depth was my ankylosing spondylitis. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's a fusion of the spine or the vertebrae. And mine actually went to an advanced stage in 2009, where it actually caused my eyesight to almost lose my eyesight in my left eye. And that was how I found out I had ankylosing spondylitis, right before my 40th birthday. So like Shay said, we did stay together. You know, we stayed in communication together through MySpace and then Facebook and stuff like that. So in 2000, after being diagnosed, taking now Humira every 2 weeks, my weight just went up. I got out of the worst shape of my life. The scale said 200, but I think it was a $20 scale. I believe it was probably 210, 220. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs with my new dog at that time, not Ben, but Rio at that time. And it really caused me to go into a deep, deep depression. I was unhealthy, eating chicken wings, pizza, beer, eating beer, drinking beer, smoking every night, smoking the other good stuff too, eating burgers at restaurants, just being very unhealthy and fit. And it sunk me into a deep depression. And what happened was around September or October of 2001 actually, Shay put a post out there about wheatgrass and how happy she was that she had the benefits of wheatgrass in Shakeology. So I reached out to her, and it was a while since we spoke. I mean, it was a random conversation that we had once in a while with each other. And I think even I went and saw her a couple times in Tampa when I was visiting my parents in North Orlando, just to say hi, hang out, go out and party. This is even before you started with Beachbody, Shay. And so I asked her about that post, and I said, you know, what is all this Shakeology thing? What's this Beachbody stuff? And we started chatting about things, and it piqued my interest because it was such a simple post. And all she was doing was sharing that she was drinking something that was making her feel better. And I said, okay, well, let me try that. And I said, she goes, why don't you let me join your challenge, or would you like to join my challenge group? I said, sure, I would love to. And I said, well, I have P90X actually, and I don't have it. My brother does, Mark. He had it, and I asked him to ship it back to me in January of 2012 is when I started the challenge group with her. What that gave me, and I wasn't a poster on Facebook. I was never sharing anything personal on Facebook. I was the typical guy that just shared political stuff, sports things, you know, drinking with the buddies, doing that type of stuff. But what I found in the challenge group was I found a place to actually share my emotions. And that actually was the biggest thing for me because, one, if the girls knew me, like Shay knows me, Stephanie knows me, I'm pretty open with my feelings personally, one by one. Mark knows me very well too, yes, so does Amy. But I'm very open with my feelings one-on-one with my friends. And that challenge group actually gave me an opportunity to share my struggles with ankylosing spondylitis. So if anybody doesn't know what that is, again, like I said, it's a fusion of the vertebrae. And it can cause hundreds of different side effects. If you think about it, every nerve in your body runs through your vertebrae. So every nerve was being pinched at some point or another. Anyway, so that challenge group actually gave me an opportunity to share the struggles I was going through, the pain I was going through. I shared every moment that I had with the workouts. You know, I couldn't do pull-ups. So I said, you know what? I can use the bands. I couldn't do push-ups. I could hardly do 10 push-ups. So I did them from my knees. Or I did them from, you know, just going down a couple inches. But that gave me an opportunity to share my emotions and all my struggles that I was going through. And after a couple weeks of doing that, or after about I'd say probably 6 to 7 weeks into that challenge, I started sharing things outside of the challenge group. And that's what really brought on the people following me And that's probably one of the biggest challenges that most men have is sharing their emotions and struggles. And that's probably why I actually have been able to be successful over the past 2.5 years is I can share those things. If I'm hurting or I'm upset about something or I'm fearful for something, that's probably my biggest benefit that I have in my business is I can share those things, and I don't feel scared to do so. And that was probably my biggest thing. Now, going back onto the challenge group, the reason why I became a coach was when I was 2 weeks out from finishing P90X in my first challenge. And it was around the same time that Shay and I were talking about me becoming a discount coach. And I had no interest in coaching at all. None at all. But I would be a discount coach because I wanted to do P90X too. And so I thought, okay, I'll get the discount and be okay with that. So became a discount coach, and 2 weeks out from completing P90X, and I was already down 42 pounds, and I had like 2 weeks left, and my goal was to hit 50. I was 2 pounds short, but that's okay. And my company laid me off. Now, I was earning $102,000 a year, and my company laid me off 2 weeks before closing on my house and 2 weeks before finishing P90X. I spent the last 6 months building my home, designing it, shopping for paints, doing everything because I was going to design my own home. I have a background in architecture and design, so I was going to do everything myself. No hired help, no nothing. And they laid me off. Well, I told the challenge group, it was Shay, Kelly, Candace, and 2 other ones, Shane. I can't remember who they were off the top of my head. And I apologize if they watch this. But Shay contacted me a few weeks after that, or a few days after that, and she says, we asked, how are you doing? And I told her, I said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've got a severance package. And she goes, I'd like to talk to you about being a full-time coach, or at least the opportunity. And I said, I have no interest in that. She goes, no, listen, you're already a coach. And I said, how? She says, all you're doing is sharing and you're motivating people. You're sharing your story and you're motivating Kelly and Candace and all the other girls in the group. You're being a coach. And that brings me to the biggest point of, my whole message to people, my new coaches, is share your struggles and share what you're doing to battle those struggles and overcome those struggles. Because that's all a coach is you're sharing it and motivating and inspiring other people. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I'll do it. I said, sounds great. She shared a little bit about the business. I was like, awesome. So I made it a goal. I made it a goal that I was going to leave my corporate job. Now, I still was unemployed, but they were already contacting me to come back into a new position. But I made it a goal. I wrote it down. I said, I will leave corporate America in 2 years or less. And this was, when was this? This was February, March. So it was late March, early April of 2012, I believe. Shake your head if that's correct, Shay. It was around that time. So, but what Shay said to me, and this still is embedded in my head because I totally believe in this, is sharing and inspiring, or sharing your story to inspire others that they can do it too. And that's probably my force that has kept me going for, 30 plus months. And I'm scared every month on the first, but it just so happens that people are watching. I think we're all scared on the first about reaching Success Club. But if you follow me and you watch what I'm posting, I'm sharing struggles that I'm having and why I'm doing a Beachbody workout, or why I'm drinking Shakeology, or why I'm taking the CalMag, or drinking E&E or something like that, because it makes me feel better. It helps me live healthier, even though I have struggles with my health. And I'm always going to have the struggles with my health. There's no cure for what I have. And some other diseases are going to be popping up later in life. It's just how it is. But I share that out there. So that's kind of how I got started. Was I got into a challenge group and I opened up. So if you're running challenge groups, you're asking people to join your challenge group, share your story with them and share what you struggle with, and share them that it's a private place that you can actually share and go through the workouts and actually overcome those struggles, because you're all helping one another. So let me go back with staying with the mindset of being consistent. And I've kind of covered that a little bit about just always sharing what I'm doing, always sharing my struggles, always sharing my achievements, always sharing things that I do that I never thought I would do before, like Spartan races now. I have another one coming up in 3 weeks. And today I actually shared in one of my private groups, in one of my accountability groups, was that I'm not physically ready and I need their support, because through them supporting me, I'm going to help support them. So I need their support, and I'm going to actually put it out there tomorrow. I've been hinting, jab, 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 and then I'm going to right hook again with, I made a reference to a personal development book, if you guys write that down. But I'm going to share out there probably by the end of the week that physically I am not ready. I'm hurting. I haven't been conquering my workouts like I used to, and I want to go ahead and do this Spartan. It's the hardest Spartan race there is, the Spartan Beast. But I'm going to share my struggle for the next 2 weeks. Either if I'm in pain, whatever happens, I'm going to share that struggle. And that's probably the hardest thing, even mostly for women, but for guys, that's probably the hardest thing to do, is sharing your emotional attachments to whatever you're feeling, your emotions, and getting it out there and letting people see that, hey, you are a vulnerable individual, but you can overcome your struggles. And we're all friends out there. That's what Beachbody's about, being friends and relationships. So people know me based on everything I share, and I'm okay with that. Actually, I've had some people say you share too much, but it's okay, because that's just who I am. I can share it out there. I'm not afraid to share my struggles out there. So one of the things that I wanted to really focus on again is one of the quotes. I'm doing a bunch of personal development with Napoleon Hill right now. And if you haven't listened to Napoleon Hill, excuse me, let me grab my notes again. It is Think and Grow Rich. And the first quote he says is, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And I want you guys to think about that. Whatever you can think of that you want to achieve and be, then you can get it. You can go after it. It's going to take time. You have to put out the little steps. Even if you're still in the beginning of your journey, you're still going to have those steps and struggles and walls and barriers that just pop up, in front of you. I lost my job. It didn't stop me from working out. I told the challenge group that I would work out every morning and drink my shake. After that, who knew what I was going to do during that time after I lost my job. And that's exactly what I did. I woke up every morning, did my workout, drank my shake, shared it out there what I was doing. But then after that, the beer cans were opening up, the phone calls were being made, cigarettes were out, everything. But I stayed doing the two things that were consistent. Working out that were good for me, good habits. So whatever your struggles are, I kind of get off track on that, but whatever your struggles are, you have to be consistent with those. So if you can conceive an idea or a thought of where you want to be, then doing those simple little steps, inviting people, I also like to say share. That's probably the biggest thing. You're going to have people that are following you. They're never going to like, they're never going to comment on your posts, but I guarantee you they're watching. Because every month I'm contacted at least by 3 or 4 people saying, okay, I'm ready. How does this work? Can you help me? Even if it's just tips, they're still reaching out to me and I'm helping them. So whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. I want everybody to pick up the first call to action. I want everybody to pick up Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's a great book. Everybody, if you want to share it, if you've already read it, share it with somebody in your challenge groups or share it with your Success Club partner. One of the other things that I've done is I have a Success Club partner, Kelly, and even though, it's been 2 years that we've been Success Club partners, we still have our months where we may not talk, or we'll talk this week but not next week. But when we do talk, we're always discussing what our plans are personally and business-wise. And it's that consistency that has kept me achieving Success Club, because I'm always saying to her, all right, are you that Success Club 5 yet? And 2 days later, before the end of the month, or 2 days before the end of the month, she says, no, I'm not. I was like, you better go get it. Some months she doesn't, some months she does. But she's always asking me the same question, and I'm normally always there because I'm throwing out those seeds throughout the end of the month, and then those people that are watching are always coming back to me within the beginning of the month. So couple of the things that I do actually that are consistency to just kind of share on what I do every day. Another thing, I share a lot. So that's one of the things I do. I share my struggles. I share everything. But I'm always wearing and share. Everywhere I go, I wear Beachbody stuff. Some of my best friends are like, God, Beachbody again? I'm like, heck yeah. It gave me this body. It's helped me change my life. I left my 6-figure income job of slavery, is what I used to like to call it, where I was working for somebody and there was a limit of how much money I can make. And now, even though I don't make what I used to, I'm happy. I don't work like a slave anymore. I work for myself. If I decide I'm going to take a day off, I can take a day off or still do a little mobile posting or something. But it's given me a freedom to actually spend time with my or traveling to Orlando or Mobile now. And actually, when I left my job on January 30th of this year, or excuse me, January 3rd of this year, it was after a 2-month struggle of trying to get short-term disability from the company. And they denied me. And I said, okay. January 3rd came. I told them I'd be back that day. And I woke up that morning. I said, you know what? I can't do it. I can't go back to that. I have a part-time business that I'm making enough money where I can actually pay the bills. So I'm going to spend my time doing that and concentrate on my health and my personal growth and helping other people. And 3 weeks after that, my grandmother had a heart attack. And I went to Orlando for 2 months. I had the freedom to do that. If I would have never had that freedom if I never would have taken the chance or the opportunity and go, you know what, I can do this. I can make my goals and live free from corporate America and healthier while I'm doing it. I never would have been able to spend time with my grandmother after her heart attack for 2 months. And that was a big thing for me. I think I remember talking to Shay about it, and I said, now I have the freedom to go. And you got to relate that to, I'm going to hold that thought to my call to action for you guys, or girls, I should say. Who's the only guy? Mark and Mark. So wear and share. Always wear and share. You've got to be wearing the Beachbody stuff. You've got to be drinking out of the, people are going to ask. I'm in the grocery store line and I'm doing calf raises with one of my Beachbody shirts on. And I've had people ask me, oh, I have P90X. I'm like, cool. Did you complete it? No, I fell off. Well, now those people are like, you know, that person is a prospect. That person actually have one of those individuals as a customer. It's not on Facebook, but we email each other. Another thing is I'm always looking at new avenues to expand my network, meaning social media wise. How to use Instagram, how to use Twitter for a Beachbody business, what are some of the most successful coaches are doing on Instagram or with their website or anything like that, their blog or anything like that. I'm always trying to learn new things. Now, am I doing it real fast? No, I'm doing it slowly, progressively learning and trying to find out how my message really does work. Instagram's exploding for me right now, but I'm still kind of just dabbing in it, trying to figure out what works best for my message. So those are just a bunch of the things that I wanted to share, but I would like to actually have a call to action for everybody. How are we looking on time, Shay? I don't have a clock.
Just a couple minutes if you'll wrap it up and then do the call to action, and then I'll add a couple things.
Perfect. Perfect timing. See? Got it. Okay. So that's in a nutshell, that's my story. I struggle with everything, but I share it. I share the pain I have. I share the struggles I have. I share the enjoyments I have. I share the little things that are actually make me happy, like my steroid flower out in the backyard that I shared on Sunday. And just those little things. So sharing more of what you're doing, and as a guy, it's difficult, but if you can get out of that box of being a man and going, no, I can't share these things because it's not what men do. BS. Get it out there. Go out there and inspire people because of what you're actually struggling with. Because you never know who is going to be struggling with those same issues. Mm-hmm. So, call to action. I've got actually 4 things to call to action. And the first one is share something personal at least once a week that you struggle with. Could be the stupidest little thing that you think. Or it could be this mind-blowing thing that you'll never know somebody may be struggling with the same thing. So that's the number one thing is share one struggle a week that you actually personally go through. And that means stepping out of your comfort zone. Add 5 people to your network each day. Got to do that. You got to expand your network. And that's a simple thing to do. You just go to your friends and start chatting with their friends, leaving comments on their pages and chatting and ask them to be friends. Number 2, or number 3 really, And this is kind of for these next 3 are for you personally. Take out a piece of paper and list out 5 goals that you want to achieve over the next 2 years. It could be financial, it could be personal, weight, it could be family, it could be a vacation. I mean, anything. List out 5 major goals. And then I want you also list out 5 unhealthy habits that you currently have. I still have unhealthy habits. Still love my chicken wings, which I've cut back to every 4 to 6 weeks now. But list out 5 habits. Write them down. And then I want you to list out 5 achievements that you've actually had since starting Beachbody. And it may, some of you in the very beginning of your journey, some of you are, been around for a year or 2. But list out 5 achievements. And as soon as you list out those 3 items, those 5 apiece, you've actually got 15 weeks of sharing material on social media and with your friends and family and all that stuff. So it's pretty easy, but you have to take some time and think about those things. So I think that's my call to action, guys.
I like the call to action because the way you've designed it gives people 15 weeks worth of stuff to post about that has content. So I think that's awesome. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, you've been so consistent with your Success Club. You're already at Success Club 7, which I think is one of the leaders of the organization right now. But your consistency just is awesome. You're over 500 PV every single week consistently. Obviously, you guys heard Kim Mitchell that was on the call last week. She's one of Chris's coaches. And there's 2 things I really wanted to point out over Chris's story. He's not kidding when he says he could barely do pull-ups and push-ups in the beginning of the challenge group. And now he does Spartan races. I mean, his disease has been so bad sometimes he's on so much pain medication he can't even get out of bed when it has its flare-ups. And he'll text me and I'm so impressed. All of us, there's so many of us that are pretty much healthy and don't have physical challenges. And then there's Chris who just fights every single day sometimes just to get up and be able to move around and get up and down the stairs and play with his dog. And I'm so impressed. But that's not an exaggeration. He has really had a physical struggle. One of the things is when he was drinking Shakeology for several months, you cut your Humira almost in half, wasn't it? I think it was something like that. From the benefits of our products, not just with the physical benefits of weight loss, but internally he was able to cut his Humira almost in half. And the last point is when I spoke to him about the business opportunity, I was probably earning $250 a week. But I spoke to him as if it was, because I believed that this is the best opportunity ever. And so back to his Napoleon Hill, believe it as if. And, if I kind of kick the tires or yeah, gosh, it could be okay. I made this you know what? This is something you have to do. You are way too vulnerable with your corporate job or losing your job. And here he is, 2.5 years later, almost earning what he was earning with that other job. So, for all of you guys that are new coaches and maybe you're uncomfortable talking about the longer big business opportunity, own it as if completely. So Chris, thank you very much for being on the call tonight. I really appreciate it. I know the team appreciates it, and hearing your story, I know it's very inspirational and the journey that you've been down. Did Stephanie get off the call? Maybe she had the baby. I was just looking to address her before. Maybe she's off. We'll have to look on Facebook. You guys have a great night. Thank you very, very much. Chris, great call to actions. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a great night. Take care.